Hello and welcome to Fraggle Talk Classic, the unofficial Fraggle Rock podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. My name is Beth and I am rewatching for the millionth time.
My name is Julia and I'm rewatching for the first time in 10 years.
My name is Adam and I am vibrating a totally normal amount for a human being. I don't know what you're talking about. Also, we have a guest who's also awesome. Hello, guest.
Hello.
I'm so excited.
I'm Wendell, and there is no known cure.
Thank goodness. All the world should come down with Wendell.
Glorious opening line. I am so excited to talk about this episode because I have been talking all season about how they've been giving the Doozers a more forward, a subtle but genuinely more forward-placing thing. And I was like, they're setting up a Doozer episode, and they did set up a Doozer episode, and it was amazing.
Wait, hang on. Who is Wendell?
Who is
We
Wendell?
should tell our listeners more about this random person
We
we've
should
invited
tell
on.
our listeners more about
I
Wendell.
thought that worked. I thought that whole...
I mean, that was a very elegant and eloquent, but also slightly more context might be helpful.
This is also why I kind of wanted to have Wendell on a Cantus episode, because he reminds me of his, weird mystical saying the thing without saying the thing, and you're like, huh? Okay, I think I get it.
Indeed.
Ha ha ha. I'm a fellow from the internet, a game designer, someone who likes to play role-playing games, and a big Muppets fan, and likes, I guess, on podcasts sometimes, because I have what people call a presence about me.
Yeah.
Well
He's
said.
like Christmas. He's got presents about him.
What?
That's a lot of this podcast. Just puns.
So today we're talking about episode 8 of season 2, All Work and All Play. This episode first aired on February 20th, 1984, written by Jerry Jewell and directed by Jim Henson.
Aww.
Yeah.
So we start off with Doc and Sprocket, and there's just a great little, just like a tiny little bit of world building where Doc is getting the postcard for Gobo Fraggle, and he has this line, he says, "I gotta tell the postman that Mr. Fraggle fellow must have moved out of here years ago." And I really like that canonically the reason why this whole postcard scheme still works is because Doc just does not have enough executive function to tell a postman something. Just never will remember it. Doesn't happen. 'Cause same.
Right?
It's fun. The three-layer dip of the show is something I'm always a fan of, which is like, oh yes, the outer world, Fraggle world, the Doozer world, and I forgot they were so small.
So small.
Around for the first time in quite some time, and I'm just like, oh, this is 3 levels Smurf down. Giving Magic School Bus in the sense of oh wait, yes, there's different tiers. Oh, it's fantastic.
They're so cute.
So one little note about the mail is that Doc says, "Oh, another letter from Duncan." And this is a nod of love and acknowledgement to Duncan Kenworthy, the original Fraggle Rock producer who left the show after the first 12 episodes in season 1.
Oh, nice.
No. Nerds be throwing back.
That is I like that there's just a little wave. It's like a little wave as you drive by.
Yeah.
They also get a magazine for dogs in which Doc says, "There's an Arendelle on the cover. You always liked Arendelles," to Sprocket. And I was like,
Yep.
What does that mean? Is Sprocket attracted to Arendelles? Is it just a breed he enjoys being around?
Later on, there's going to be a similar to Ned Schimmelfinney and Fluffinella, an off-screen character that just gets mentioned, who is an Airedale. And so I will say this is planting the seed of Sprocket liking Airedales in particular, which I looked them up. They're
great.
Adorable. All dogs are magnificent, but this is a kind with it's got kind of that flat, straight, long nose.
Look like a hot dog, just tell... when you do cartoons and it's just this animal is a normal animal and this animal is meow.
It definitely does. That would be the animal that if there was an animated, a Lady in the Tramp style thing, that would be the one that had the nice sleek coat and the oh, hello. Oh, you're talking to me, darling? That would be the one that the poodle in Oliver and Company looks up to and really wants to be.
What a great poll.
So this does lead me to a question that has been haunting me since I watched this episode, which was not too long ago, so it has not been that many days. The Doozers, are they naked like the way that their tools work
That's a very good
makes
question.
clothes until you see them like just chilling out. I'm just like, is this like do they wear like perma jumpsuits? Are they like plankton? What's their deal?
I mean, they're very naked. A lot of them are very naked in this one. What, like, in the past, besides the one episode where they do suddenly get very into knitting and they knit themselves clothes, they mostly only wear, like, the tool belts and the hard hats and things like that, right, Beth?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they were knitting, they made, like, sweaters and scarves and hats. I don't think we ever saw anybody wearing pants. They are a distinctly pantsless society.
They're all Donald Duck in it.
Who wear Donald Duck?
My take on it is that they view clothes with a strictly utilitarian sense. And that's why when we see them at rest, they're not wearing much. My other take is that they're very clearly insectile.
Ooh.
And so, like, I would assume that there's social norms around, bodies and that sort of a thing, and what parts of bodies are okay to show and what parts aren't, would be completely different than something that evolved from a mammalian section or background.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like I'd have different feelings about my carapace than I do my skin.
Yeah, I'm way less ashamed of my carapace. My carapace can just hang out. I'll wear like a bikini string top with my carapace.
Also, the Fraggles, Fraggles do wear some clothes, but Fraggles don't wear pants, and there are a lot of background Fraggles not wearing clothes. So
Right.
I think we're so used to, when we see the Doozers, them having something on, and like the main Fraggles have their normal wear. So it feels a little jarring, but I did have to remind myself, like, yeah, they're wearing so little to begin with that this is just their natural, I guess, state of being.
Right.
Well, the only reason it was jarring is that it made me realize the degree to which they'd gone full Chewbacca, where it's just like, no, their bandoliers are, they're just like, oh yeah, like, okay, cool. That's not like a tactical outfit. It's like, yeah, it's a little tool belt.
Mm-hmm.
If I can triangulate from those 2 points, if Fraggles use their clothes as a means of like self-expression, and Doozers use their clothes as a utilitarian function, perhaps what we're seeing actually is 2 different societies that all view clothes predominantly as what they can do for you instead of a means to protect against the shame of not having clothes.
Ooh.
What about the Gorgs? Because the Gorgs wear clothes.
Yeah, because the Gorgs are built on shame and badness.
Yeah.
Wait, Junior doesn't wear pants, though, does he? He just has a shirt.
No, yeah, he doesn't wear pants. Does Pa wear pants?
Sometimes?
Pa and Ma have, like, full
Robes?
outfits.
Dress. I know, she's got a dress.
Yeah.
She's got like dresses and muumuus. Pa has like the king's robe thing.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's usually open at the front.
Yeah.
Anyways, we have talked a lot about not Doozer Society, and I would like to talk much more about Doozer Society, if I may.
So, real quick, in the Doc and Sprocket scene, Sprocket decides that he wants to be a horse, and he holds up a picture specifically of a Lipizan stallion, which is how I learned about Lipizan stallions. It was from this show. So they're like a specific...
That's crazy. I learned about Lipizan stallions by being on a podcast from someone who was a huge Fraggle Rock nerd and Googled and found all of the origins of the pictures in the show.
Okay, this is really uncanny, but I learned about Lipizan stallions from watching Angry Beavers.
Oh my gosh! Thank you!
There's an episode of Angry Beavers where Norbert decides he wants to be a Lipizzaner stallion.
Yup.
What?
Yup.
It's all coming together.
Oh yeah, it's
so
all
many
coming
lines on the conspiracy board. I need to go to Joanne's and get more yarn.
They know me down there at Joanne's. They're just like, well, how's the conspiracy well going? It's just like the connections. They're fractaling. They're fraggling.
Oh, I walk in and whoever's closest to the door just grabs a broom and starts trying to swat me out. I scuttle over to the fabric and hiss.
I had forgotten about that connection entirely, and I'm so glad you were able to bring in Angry Beavers.
So please, Beth, tell me about Lipizan stallions, because I don't know what a Lipizan stallion is, but I am going to see how many more times I can say Lipizan stallions in this sentence.
Right, so
It was 3.
my inner horse girl was thriving in this episode. Basically, it's a specific breed of horse that was bred for as part of the Habsburg Empire, now in Slovenia, which...
I was going to say, never heard of them, more like the Have-Notsburg Empire.
They are closely associated with the Spanish riding school of Vienna, Austria, where they do haute école, I don't know how to speak French, movements of like classical dressage. They're very exquisite
Elegant.
movers, elegant, dainty.
They're hoity-toity.
Yeah, hoity-toity horses, yes. So
Would
Sprocket,
you say they're the horse version of the dog breed that we were discussing earlier?
maybe.
Perhaps. Okay, Sprocket. Sprocket's got high taste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sprocket wants to be like the cream of the crop of all horses.
Mhm.
Sprocket is a member of the working class who is coveting the bourgeoisie.
That's from the future here. My bad. Turns out I got this episode mixed up in my head with that Angry Beavers episode. So Sprocket just wants to be a horse in general, and Norbert from Angry Beavers is the one who specifically wants to be a Lipizzaner stallion. And the picture Sprocket is holding up is probably not a Lipizzan, but much more likely an Arabian, if I had to guess just looking at the picture. Apologies to my fellow horse girls.
I will say that I like that Doc tells Sprocket he's gonna help him make a change and feel better. And when Sprocket tells Doc his dream, I mean, Doc does have a moment where he's like, "Oh, you want to be a horse," but then he does double down. He's like, "Okay, I said that I would help you," and it's just growth from Doc. We get to see Doc be a nice friend and actually follow through on being like, "Okay, I will help you with this very implausible thing."
It is very sweet. Doc actually gets to be supportive of Sprocket for once.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can we talk about the Doozers?
Let's talk about the Doozers. This is the first time we're getting to see where they live.
Mm-hmm.
So this place is called the Doozer Dome.
We live in an Apple store.
and it's designed based on a geode. So the outside is all rough, and then the inside is all crystalline.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I just love all the little details in their society, like their fountain. Their fountain is A, over a water wheel, and B, actively being pumped by a little Doozer statue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of the things that they value are evident in their art and their comment spaces. There's even a little Doozer baby playing with little Doozer blocks, and one of my favorite details of the entire episode, they're little circular Doozer blocks. They're not square blocks, they're circular blocks.
That's very cool.
Which is relevant for a thing that we're going to get to at
We're
the
going to get to
very
that
end.
later. Yep.
But no, they were, I was like, oh, little blocks, why are they circles? And then we got to the bit at the end and I was like, oh, big brain. And then they have this moment that is like their rite of passage, this milestone coming of age thing where you get your helmet.
Mm-hmm.
All of these cultural details, and I just vibrate enough that I can phase through things. Anyways, other people can talk now.
They had Doozer escalators. It looked like a mall in there.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote that it looks like some Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Gollum Village, and I got the full mall. I got the actual mall from
Yeah.
Very 80s vibes.
Oh, yeah. Especially with the fountain.
Mm-hmm.
Were they dunking on society? Were they? Because I felt like a little bit like it was like a Wall-E sort of deal, where suddenly I was like, wait, no, the outer society is more like Doozer society than Sprocket and the homeboys. I was just like, wait, have we Mobius stripped into a critique on society?
I mean, yes, and I would say that Doc and Sprocket, and Fraggles and Doozers and Gorgs, each of those little pockets, each of their species that aren't really interacting with each other much yet, they're all a commentary on different aspects of society.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that they wanted to draw more parallels between us and the Doozers, especially because the Doozers work and have so much more of a culture around work. But also I think that they wanted to showcase just Doozer culture. Doozers build. That's what they do. And so of course they're going to have cleaning angles on their architecture and moving parts on all their stuff and minimalist artistic direction because there's not a lot of art.
Mm-hmm. And a whole coming of age ceremony revolving around claiming your work helmet to go to work, to be a worker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are all good.
Which
point
did give a little bit of fascism. It did give just a pinch, a sprinkle of the fash.
I mean, what's the line between Dwarven and fascist? We don't know.
I mean, ask anybody in Warhammer and they'll tell you it's that Venn diagram is a stack of pancakes. But I love, I love that we get to see so many of these just have the regular same Fraggle voices unchanged.
Mm-hmm.
But two, just cotter pin. I love this kid.
Oh,
also,
yes.
did y'all look up what a cotter pin is? Because I looked up what a cotter pin is.
Yep.
What is?
Beth, you want to say?
I mean, it's kind of like if a bobby pin were rebranded and sold at Home Depot instead of the hair section of the drugstore.
It's a bobby pin specifically designed to stop things that need to fit through other things from rotating.
Oh, thank you.
Well, they're all named after tools, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're all named after either tools or like tool-related
nuts and bolts
stuff.
and like things for building and creating. You know, we get to see Wingnut and Flange again. Flange was the doozer that went out in the garden in the previous season, and he's Cotterpin's dad. We've seen the architect doozer before, haven't we? Or am I thinking of Back to the Rock?
We have not met the architect
so.
doozer yet.
I feel like I would have clocked a name. Also, Wendell, you said a thing like 2 beats back. What was that?
Couldn't possibly remember. I was beguiled by the architect because I was just like, oh, this is the Matrix. This is fully the plot of Matrix Reloaded, where I was like, wait, so the outliers are the ones who end up becoming the ones who make the new generation of society. And so we found you. Your weird whining and clove smoking have actually brought you back.
I mean, is that not how it works, though? Do those on the fringes of society not wind up that's where we get, like, culture and slang from. It doesn't come from rich influencers. It comes from people who are on the fringes and very much outside of the mainstream.
I'll say this, by that logic, in 2024, Daria should already be running for president. Like House of Cards seasons, Daria Morgendorf working for...
I mean, I would vote for her.
Dang, yeah.
The Daria Tina Belcher ticket, I would vote for that so hard.
Daria Belcher?
Oh my gosh.
Ice Morgendorf for Belcher. No, awful. Didn't like saying.
That
was a bad mouthfeel.
mouthfeel, yeah.
So we get to meet Cotterpin. We get to see her family again. We get to see there's so many little bit like one of her friends is like, don't you want to play workers? And she's like, we're gonna be workers in a couple of days. Why would I want to play at it? And then like her dad comes home and calls his wife my little sugar hinge. Like,
right.
Even the cultural terms of endearment are influenced by their cultural values because that's how this works.
Yes.
It's a word on a cob.
It's also very important that we see her being like, she doesn't want to build, she just wants to draw her little pictures all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we continually see her being judged for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this entire episode read to me as somebody who wants to grow up and be an artist or some creative force, and the rest of the world is like, no, you gotta grow up and join the workforce, and she doesn't want to do that.
Degree.
She wants to draw bridges, interesting looking bridges, apparently. She likes hexagons.
Does she want to draw bridges?
Draw bridges, yes, sure.
Now, the interesting thing is when her desire to draw bridges between her and the rest of the society.
Oh, boy.
That's insane, right? I've lost my mind entirely.
It's also fascinating to me that she's given the warning of the legend of the doozer who didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Into a Fraggle, and they suck for some reason.
They don't care for the Fraggles, except that the Fraggles do eat their structures. That's the only thing they seem to like about the Fraggles. They can keep building.
I mean, that tracks with how society treats janitors.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang.
I do appreciate that they do have, like, cautionary tales built into their culture and lore, specifically about Fraggles, though. We also, at some point later, get a shot of Fraggles, but from the doozer perspective.
Their feet?
Yeah, and, like, just how big they are.
Mm-hmm.
Do the doozers know about the dog?
I don't think they do yet. I don't think the doozers have encountered Sprocket, and even
to my knowledge, they've never been to outer space.
Yeah, even Gobo, our main leader Fraggle, is the only one who interacts with Sprocket on a regular basis. To everyone else, he's just the hairy creature in outer space that Gobo tells them about, and only his closest friends have actually seen Sprocket.
Mm-hmm. And only Flange was the one who went out to the gardens. We also don't know if the doozers have ever actually seen the Gorks, because I remember Flange saw Junior and was like, it's a mountain, and that was his take on what a Gorg was.
Which tracks. Anyway, so Cotterpin really doesn't want to get her helmet and be a worker, and so her parents are like, are we going to have to send you to have a talk with the architect? And there's this great moment where the architect is like, oh, Cotterpin, what am I going to do with you? And she says, why don't you just give up on me?
Right.
And my teacher heart just broke. Because I've had kids who are like, just give up on me. Stop trying. Stop trying to make me know stuff. Stop trying. And it's like, it's so hard as a teacher to try to differentiate between this system that we are working within is not for everyone. And there are some kids who should not be a part of the system because they should have their own system built for them.
Mm-hmm. Like her chipper tone when she's like, oh, why don't you just give up on me? And then she giggles.
She's hopeful.
It's like,
she wants him to.
It would
she doesn't want to have to
feel
keep doing this.
Great when you're however old Cotterpin is and you feel as alien as she does. If the people in charge keep telling you that you're wrong, you wish that they would just leave you alone and let you do your weird little things.
Mm-hmm.
Let me return to the woods. Let me become moss. It's cool. Got it.
The thing that breaks my heart is the distinguishing between yeah, you shouldn't have to try to put effort into a system that is not built for you versus no, you should still learn how to put effort into things.
Right.
Because life requires effort. All the cool things are hard. All the things that are worth doing take practice and refinement and building of skill. You're going to have to learn how to do stuff. Emphasis on the how to do.
I especially want to draw attention to the fact that she is having trouble studying. Mm-hmm. Because, oh my gosh, as a neurodivergent teenager, when my struggles with school started coming in, I was no longer the, gifted and talented student who was excelling at everything. Suddenly I was struggling with school, and no one ever taught me how to study.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Yeah. All the comments about her doodling and not picking up her book, that I was like, okay, so she's me in high school, where I got in trouble for doodling in the margins of all of my homework all of the time, and I could not study to save my life.
One of the things that I definitely try to work in the classroom when I have kids who are beyond the student, beyond the material, is I will be like, all right, hey, here's a problem past this grade level that is so complex that you can't just do it in your head. Mm-hmm. Let's figure it out. And the thing that always happens to them is that immediate, this is too hard, and then they short out. And I'm like, okay, this is the thing that a lot of other people feel when they look at this kind of stuff. Mm. You just haven't gotten to the point that'll make you feel this yet. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we need to do is to figure out how to practice dealing with this feeling and what to do about it.
Yes.
So let's start writing stuff down and let's work our way through it.
Awesome. My God, thank you for doing that with children.
Yes.
Sometimes it works. I try.
Also, okay, can we just talk about the architect's tiny little drawing table that is functional?
It's so good. It's so good. Can we talk about how all of these puppets are functional?
Yes.
Because they're walking around and talking and swiveling their heads, and there's got to be some very intricate remote mechanisms for this to be working.
Fazfazakis, you're an awesome person. I was reading that since all of these, walkways that the doozers are on have no guardrails, there would always be a puppeteer underneath the shot to catch any falling doozers.
I want that job.
Catch a falling doozer and put it in your pocket. Never let it fade away.
Perfect. Sorry, Wendell, you were saying something.
No, it's got the seven dwarves, the feet, the hi-ho, just peak pure Keebler elf, just the sprites, the sprites among sprites.
Mm-hmm. They're all marching in line.
Yes.
In time.
Well, it is, I think, when you think of them as large, being that is a little fascism.
So after talking to the architect, Cotterpin's wandering off singing this cute little song, The Way I've Got to Go, about, just not wanting to do what other people say and trying to find her own way. And this is the first instance that we get of an identical melody that used before. And it does not happen often in this show. Mm-hmm. But this is the same melody that Moki was singing in the song Kick a Stone in Don't Cry Over Spilt Milk. And I think this version of that song is much better. It feels more emotionally important.
I agree.
I thought the song sounded familiar. That's really cool. Yeah. They write 2 or 3 songs for every episode, so I think we've mentioned this before, reusing some themes or wording or music, that makes sense. Kids aren't going to pick up on that.
Yeah. And so we get to see Cotterpin encountering some Fraggles in the wild and being in awe of the lives that they lead.
Mm-hmm. Or they're doing like a walking backward contest, and she loves it.
Yeah.
And that's where we get to see their feet.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing just like one after the other silly things, like, oh, let's race to the Whistling Tunnel, now let's break the walking backwards record, now let's go listen to the Cave of the Rumblebugs. This is Red and Gobo at their best. They are one-upping each other in fun.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I noted that. There's playful jabbing here and there, but they're like on the same level. They're having fun. They're being good friends, and it's nice to see them not being jerks to one another, which we've seen several times this season already.
Right.
And I want to come back to it. We get that shot, and we get to watch them from Cotterpin's perspective.
Yeah.
Which changes the way we look at the entire environment. And it reminds me of that one city planner who was like wondering why kids aren't like out and about in cities, and then decided to go look at all of the city stuff that they designed, but from 3 feet high instead of like 5.5. And he was like, oh, the hedges are blocking a view of the road, so you can't see if cars are coming, and a bunch of stuff like that. And so did a bunch of redesigns, keeping in mind that like he was looking at everything from 3 feet high instead of 5 or 6. And wouldn't you know it, kids started hanging out more and wandering more in the cities and stuff.
That's so cool.
Yeah, perspective matters, even if it's just the height you're looking at a thing from.
Yeah. And Cotterpin gets a glimpse of the kind of life she would rather live.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my gosh, this is possible. There's a whole society of people living the way that I would rather live. Okay, so then Doc and Sprocket, Doc is he's leaning into this. He's being a good supporter. He has gotten a saddle for Sprocket.
About the smallest saddle he could find.
And they've taped horseshoes to Sprocket's paws. There's also a great moment where like Sprocket goes under the table with the saddle, and you can hear him like getting into it. And then he just pops up and like does a little dog but also horse neigh and rears back and then just starts galloping around. It's very cute.
He looks very happy.
He does. It's delightful.
I was proud of myself that I still have enough of the old horse girl in me that I could recognize that the canned horse gait sound that they were using, I knew which gait that it was. I was like, that is a canter.
Ha-ha.
Nothing past me, former horse girl.
Useless information.
No, because you're doing a podcast where you can share this information, Beth.
There you go.
Not useless.
It was fascinating to look up, of course, because I looked up, like, what are all the different horse gaits and, like, how do they work? And I started, like, using my hand to imitate, okay, so first the right foreleg, and then the left rear leg, and then...
Ooh, that's a fun hand exercise.
It was fascinating to me.
I haven't used the hand quadruped in some time. The little, like...
Oh yeah, my hands used to be fighting dinosaurs in class.
Exactly.
Little hand quadrupeds.
Dinosaurs fighting each other. Yeah.
Oh yeah, long-necked dinosaurs with just like one really weird back leg because thumbs are weird.
And then Doc gets a chance for the, of course, necessary pun of this brings new meaning to the phrase "get along, little doggy."
Mm-hmm.
Doc made a terrible pun. Put another point in your Doc is not a neurotypical columns.
Is that like the what is it? A mini golf version where it's like, all right, we can make another attempt at the Doc is not neurotypical.
I think we just have a tally in the back.
We're building a bingo card for Fraggle Talk. We do not yet have enough recurring bits to fill out like a whole, 5x5 thing, but we're getting close.
We bring up Doc being neurodivergent, I think, in every single episode.
Pretty much.
Commitment to the thing.
It does happen very often.
It's a lot of his character. But yeah, then we get the Uncle Traveling Matt postcard, and he's in an arcade, and once again doesn't seem to know what money is, even though we have seen so many segments with him interacting with money.
Mm-hmm.
I miss arcades so much, and I always forget that I, as an adult, am allowed to just go to an arcade, and then when I remember, I'm like, oh, that would be weird if I just went. I should go with some friends.
Yeah.
And then I never get friends together to go to an arcade.
No, you gotta go to the arcade at 11 on a Friday. Just go, dude. That's the time for adults to go to the arcades when kids should be in school. It's weird. A bunch of weird adults now alone together, but that's fine. That's how it should be.
Fair.
There are several barcades in Portland. There's Quarter World and there's Ground Control, where you have to be an adult to go to those arcades, and They're great. Core World might actually be all ages up till the evening times, where there's a lot of booze.
Ooh, I might have to see if we have any barcades. I think we have one. I just can't ever remember the name. So I will do some digging. But yeah, I miss arcades.
They're great.
Yeah.
There's a very specific vibe in an arcade.
It was a coin flip on what episode I was going to do. I was glad that it was the arcade one. I love arcades. They're deeply important to me and my lore. The idea of, like, in an episode all about work is the only thing that matters for this, like, I guess recurring set of this, like, Nigel Thornberry-esque Fraggle
Very
who
much so.
studies humans in outer space.
I can't believe we've never mentioned Nigel Thornberry.
That makes so much sense, though.
So apt.
That's cool. That's great. It felt like there was like a nice little meta commentary, even just in like the like side bit. That was good.
I also love there's a great puppetry shot where we're looking at Matt trying to squish into this kid who's playing a game, one of those big what do they call those old school arcade machines?
The machine, that one.
So they do a shot where we're looking at them through the screen as if we were in the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, was there like a taken apart machine that they used for this shot that was already there? Or did someone like build a fake video game facade for this one shot? Like, either way, I love it.
Yeah, one of them.
What?
It was one of those. So, then we get to go to the getting of their worker hat ceremony, and they have a dude playing a tiny little pipe organ that actually, as a steam organ, has little steam toots come out of its pipes.
Yeah.
This show's amazing.
Also made entirely out of crystal.
It's made out of the same thing that they make their buildings out of, which is technically crystallized radish.
Yep. We do not know how they do that. Like, step 1, grind up the radishes. Step 2, question mark, question mark, question mark. Step 3, build out of that material. I also just want to appreciate these amazing hats that are happening.
They're little like Sunday church hats, but they're wearing
Yes.
it to the helmet ceremony, because this is probably their church. This is what they build their whole world around.
Yeah.
Just giving baptism, bat mitzvah, like this is the rite of passage.
Coming of age, yeah.
Yeah. So all of the uncles are wearing these like boring looking beige hats that are just like the emoji of a hat. Granny Cantilever is rocking like a lovely knitted shawl and this fascinating pink ribbon, pink flower, pink veil to match her pink hair and pink nose. Incredible. Poor Wingnut has this half-dome straw and raffia confusion. I want to understand it, but I don't. And there's this wonderful person in the crowd at the ceremony who's just got like a couple of sea creature looking things on her hat.
I have a very quick question, just to step back like a little bit before the ceremony. There's a quote that I believe Wingnut says where they do a close-up of her and she says, "Oh no, I forgot to wax the dog."
Thank you.
What is that?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
There's a dog and she forgot to wax it. Duh.
What kind of dogs do doozers have?
Yeah.
What the
Feels
fuck?
very
Do
self-explanatory.
the doozers have dogs? Does dog mean something different for them? I was like, surely this will come back up, and it doesn't.
It doesn't come back up. We have no idea what this dog looks like. If it is a real animal that for some reason requires a wax coating, or a mechanical dog that for some... Then you would say like, oh, I forgot to oil the dog if it was mechanical. But waxing something is like a protective coating. And she's saying this with the urgency of, oh, I forgot to walk the dog. Like, ma'am, why does your dog need a protective coating right now?
Mm-hmm.
They live underground with fire. And I don't know.
I mean, it's as plausible an idea as anything else.
I'm spitballing.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was just a weird, like, inside joke for the performers and the writers, or if it was alluding to something we'd find out about later, or if it was just a joke that ended up making no sense and didn't really land.
Yeah, I think it was just a throwaway joke.
I mean, the beat of it was there. I just didn't really follow the actual meat of it.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so Codderpin goes through the ceremony. Adam, how did you feel about the song at the ceremony? We talked about the pipe organ.
I honestly, like, there was a song, and I was mostly paying attention to the pipe organ.
Okay.
The song also came off a little fashy, honestly. They're just like, we're gonna do all the things we're supposed to do, and we're not gonna do all the things we're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
And also, all the adults are gonna reiterate how devoted they are to the status quo.
Yeah, and it's specifically about being a doozer. Like, not just about being a worker.
Honestly, it was giving Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, it's giving Pledge of Allegiance. And yeah, like, the fact that they're not talking about, like, I am ready to go be a builder. No, they're talking about, I am going to be a doozer. I'm going to do what doozers do and not do what doozers don't do.
I did like that line.
I get it.
Yeah.
So do is a doer, doozer. Okay.
So the Doozers have like some light touches of fascism. The Gorgs are very much like a monarchy, and then the Fraggles are like a communists, I guess.
I was gonna say like anarcho-socialists.
Yeah, that's a better term for it. So
I will say also, like, I get there being some like heavily work reliant stuff, given that the Doozers they seem to be at least presented as hive insects.
I could see that. That makes sense.
And like the idea of ants scurrying around always doing stuff makes sense when you don't know that a lot of ants spend their time resting.
Right.
Anyways, so in the middle of the ceremony, Cotterpen's like, no, I don't want to do it. I'm going to go be a Fraggle. And then she goes off to go be a Fraggle, and she decides she's going to go talk to her favorite Fraggle, Red. And I really, really want to take a second and appreciate, because, like I say, the world building is always in the tiny things, and the show's very good about it. We don't just cut to her trying to wake up Red. We cut to her walking into the room to get to Red, because this is a room that was not built for her.
Yep.
And so we have this line of her going, uh-oh, big steps, and then like bouncing her way down the steps in what is clearly both comical and painful, because this is not a space that was built with her in mind.
Yes. And we're going to see her like need accommodations throughout the whole middle chunk of the episode. She's trying to be a Fraggle, but her body was not built for that kind of life.
Wasn't built for fraggling. I would feel satisfied dying on this planet if I knew that someone had used as a pickup line. It's like, are you able to embrace your Fraggle nature?
Ooh.
Just walk up to somebody and be like, hey, were you built for fraggling?
You built for fraggling? You look like you got a body built for fraggling. What does that mean?
Incredible.
Sounds like a great way to go home alone.
I mean, you got to choose your target carefully.
Fair.
You're gonna miss like 99% of the time, but if you find a Fraggle nerd.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Incredible.
Anyways, so she's like, yo, Red, I want to talk to you. And Red in her sleep is like, Doozers don't talk to Fraggles. She's like, I want to hang out. And Red's like, Doozers can't be Fraggles. And then she's like, you're my favorite because you're the best Fraggle. And Red's like, oh, what? And of course, the thing that wakes Red up is just like praise and ego stroking.
Right.
But it was, yes, the ecology is always fascinating. The like myths about Fraggles, the relationship with like she's sleeping and is not able to wake up from sleep because such nonsense was being put to her ear. Like, just like, no, that's not real. I'm still dreaming. I'm just like, wow, this is a deeply ingrained like cultural difference between the Doozers and the Fraggles.
Also, this is the third episode in a string of 4 episodes that they've taken a puppet with no eyelid mechanism from asleep to awake or vice versa in one shot.
Oh, yeah, because she had the book over her face. Oh, that's clever.
Now they're just peacocking, and I love it. They're like, look how cool our puppetry is. We're going to do the same trick.
That's really clever.
I do like that. The idea of like puppet peacocks. I was watching the original Muppets movie yesterday. I got conned into it by a friend.
Nice.
Only now do I realize that was probably convenient for me, because I was thinking about just like all the little tricks that they do where it's like most people are just puppets. Great. You being able to do this at all is insane. I'm not going to like delve deeper. And then there's like puppet bits that they're doing to themselves, to other puppeteers in there that the true fans are picking up on is funny. Like we were watching Fozzie and someone was like, Fozzie's bald. And I was like, Fozzie's not bald. Fozzie's a full hairy bear. It's like, no, when Fozzie takes his hat off, like Fozzie is bald. And I was like, You know?
Kind of like how they gave in Finding Dory, they gave her dad a receding hairline, even though he's a fish.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Little caricature work.
It's really good stuff. And there's so much of it in this show. And it's one of those where it's like, and I've talked a little bit about this, we've talked about it in general on the pod, but like, it's one of those where if you don't know to look for it, if you do something right, no one realizes you did anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's puppets that swim.
Yeah.
With swimming puppets. And we get to see those. And it took me several episodes to be like, wait, that's a puppet underwater. What? How? What? Anyways, so Red is like, I don't know. I don't think you can't be a Fraggle. And Cotterpin's like, but I really want to be a Fraggle. And Red's like, but you're 6 inches tall. And Red's like, yeah, but if I go back now, I'll have to admit that I was wrong. And immediately Red is like, oh, you don't want to do that. Oh, I hate doing that ever. And I really appreciate that what we're seeing here is interspecies similarity, not in terms of values, but in terms of like character flaw and struggle.
Yeah.
Pettiness.
It's like, yeah, no, it's not just, oh, we have so much in common with all the good things. It's like, no, we struggle with the same things too.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think, is a really, really subtle and beautiful way to start, drawing the similarities between these two species.
We're not so different, you and I. I also hate proving to be wrong at any given moment for any reason.
So, why do you not choose to race me down into the whistling tunnels? Wait, no, hold on. I cannot get down from here. It is so big, and I am so little.
Oh, there's this great exchange where Red's like, oh, look, let's face facts. You're 6 inches tall. You really can't be a Fraggle. And Cotterpin's like, but I really, really can't be a doozer.
Mm-hmm.
That just gutted me. Like, oof. And like, we see in this scene, she's like, well, let's go do something Fraggly. And they have this success with going to visit the cave of the Rumblebugs. And then the failure that comes after that, the Cotterpin's either or thinking of like, I have to be 100% doozer or 100% Fraggle.
Mm-hmm.
And like, only at the very end is she able to understand, like, oh, I can make my world a little fragglier.
Oh my god.
Oh, I just made that connection just now. Holy
that line really hit, because I just sort of I always felt like an alien growing up. There's a line in one of my favorite, actually there's my favorite webcomic called Strong Female Protagonist, which I don't know if I've talked about here, but it's Brendan Lee Mulligan's webcomic.
Brendan Lee Mulligan.
I haven't read it yet. I need to.
Before he got big on Dimension 20, it was him and Molly Ostertag making a webcomic, and it is unfinished, and I still think people should read it. But there's a great bit where the main character is talking to a telepath, and is like, the telepath, she's like, did you do this bad thing? And he's like, no, I wouldn't do this bad thing. And he gives the moral reason for why doing the bad thing is wrong. And then he follows that up with the like, also, if I was going to do the bad thing, I would do it in this much more effective and efficient manner. And she kind of stops and she says, are you a good person? And he kind of pauses and he says, I've never really identified as a person, but I try to do good things.
Whoa.
And the first time I read that line, I like just cried. Because we get fed this rigid definition of what it means to be a person, and then we grow up and we don't fit that, and we're like, all right, well then what the heck am I?
Mm-hmm.
I'm an experience.
Hey.
Damn right you are.
Oh, Stefani.
I also really love Cotterpin just hanging out in Red's braids. That's a good image.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Yeah, they go to listen to the Rumblebugs together, and it's just a delightful the second earworm we get.
Lots of ums. But then we get this moment of realization that is a very big and important moment. Because Red's like, oh, we're going to do the most fraggly thing ever. We're going to swim. And Cotterpin's like, oh, no. Doozers do not swim. That is gross, terrible, bad. We just don't. And then there's this moment of her like, oh, I don't want to swim. Because doozers don't swim. Because I'm a doozer. And it just, it hits, and then Red's reassurance on it. Because at this point, Cotterpin just gives up. And she's like, I guess I'll have to give up. I guess I'll have to go back and admit I was wrong. And tell everyone and just do this thing that makes me miserable forever. And Red doesn't say, don't do that. She says, don't give up till you're sure.
Well, so first she's like, well, you could still come visit me. And Cotterpin's like, no, Red, doozers don't visit Fraggles. Like, she's taken a 180 back into the either or thinking of like, well, I can't be 100% Fraggle, so now I have to go be 100% Doozer.
Which is also what Red told her while Red was asleep.
Yes, exactly. And now Red's like, well, but we could. Like, she's now made enough of a connection with Cotterpin to say, well, I want to hang out with you again. Why can't we do this more?
Mm-hmm.
And I will give a bit of a spoiler. We are going to get to see Cotterpin again.
I was so hoping.
Yeah, she's going to come back.
I was so hoping.
That'd be wild if we got this episode and then Cotterpin just never came back ever
Just
again.
never showed up again.
I would be so mad.
I mean, it does give that Reginald Barkley vibe of just like, and now we're just gonna like twist, turn upside down everything and see it from this perspective, which is just like, space is crazy and you shouldn't do it.
Space is crazy and you shouldn't do it.
You shouldn't. Yeah, don't do space.
And oh man, when she goes back,
I love this scene.
oh, the energy of like, well, I'm back. And then, man, the architect like, well, Cotterpin Doozer, I thought you had gone off to be a Fraggle. And I was like, don't you well her, sir. Like, that is not how you welcome someone back to the community when they are humbled enough to admit that they've screwed up and they're lost and they don't know what to do.
Ooh, that makes me maybe a little too petty because I heard that and I was like, get him. That girl talk crazy.
She definitely did, like, say... I mean, I don't even know if she said any mean stuff as much as she was just like, I'm not going to do anything. And I think... And I mean, okay, we have to talk about the beat that happens before I can say the point that I want to make. But he's like, oh, yeah, well, you know, we get someone like you about once every generation. You know, you don't have to get your worker hat. I draw because I wanted to draw. I'm the architect. And she's like, yeah, I never saw you wearing a hat, did you? And he's like, yeah, do you want to be the architect's apprentice? And she's like, oh my God. And so the idea of like, yeah, you know, you can't necessarily deny who you are, but you can find a way to fit into your culture that is comfortable and lets you do the things you love.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Like, I think it's so important. She gets this line, you know, she's like, she comes back, she's like, it didn't work, what can I do? And he's like, you could always take your helmet and build. And she says, no, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I won't take the helmet. Not ever. It's like, she knows, like, this kind of life is not right for me. And I don't know what the right answer looks like, but I know it's not this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you tell him, girl.
Mm.
And then he was like, well, then you die. No. He's cleared up. Well, no, it's giving... This is spoilers for a completely different thing. Anakin and Ahsoka in Ahsoka, where it's just like, here's your last lesson. I taught you to be a soldier. And that's a cool moment in Ahsoka, but for the Doozers, it doesn't seem like they were warrior monks turned generals, so it wasn't like do or die. It was more like, hey, follow your dreams, but also you live in a society.
Follow your dreams, but also you live in a society.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I feel like that is the answer to a lot of confusion and questioning that so many people have. It's like, well, yeah, but follow your dreams, but also you live in a society.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how we live in a society.
It's great. Every day I wake up in a society.
Slams fist on door 2 times.
The mind-blowing moment that I had when she was like, you mean I can get to draw instead of build? Oh, heck yeah. And I was like, oh, holy crap. Storytellers are like architects saying, here, build this cool thing I dreamed up. But the cool thing I dreamed up is a better world. And now the rest of you have to go out there and build it.
So how come so many Hunger Games is, though?
I mean, that's also it's like a critique. That's a storytelling thing saying, hey, this is the world we built. Shouldn't we change and fix it?
Yes.
Do we really want to have the Met Gala while there's genocides happening? Do we?
Yeah.
Is that the play?
Exactly.
Here's the thing. Yes, I want it. But now I know who I am, and that was awful. Now I get to just know that I'm like, please, more bread and circuses.
I mean, I like circuses. I just also like people not getting killed.
Big same.
Bread and roses and circuses.
But there's this really nice, like, back and forth where she's like, I don't know, is that going to mean I have to do everything that you say? And he's like, yeah, kind of. And she says, well, then I don't know. And he says, hey, you know, you're contrary. If I hadn't been contrary, Doozer buildings wouldn't look like they do today. The last architect really loved circles, which is why the little kid was playing with circle blocks at the beginning, because those are old toys that were handed down from the last time, the time of the last architect.
Oh, I really want to give a spoiler for Back to the Rock.
Do it.
Cotterpin's like, oh, well, personally, I like hexagons. And he's like, oh, there'll be no hexagons around here, young lady. She's like, oh, see.
Hexagon is best-agon.
In Back to the Rock, most of the buildings are hexagon-shaped.
Yes! Hexagons are the best. Hexagons are triangles living their best lives.
Hexagons are cubes being real low-key.
Incredible.
Oh, hexagons occur naturally in nature. Because he has this line where she's like, I like hexagons. He's like, there'll be no hexagons around here, young lady. And she says, we'll see.
I wrote, yes, questioning authority is good and healthy for children and workers and societies.
Mm-hmm. Form a union. Anyways. So then we cut back to Doc and Sprocket. And it is time for Sprocket to eat. And Sprocket very quickly realizes that he does not want to eat what horses eat. He does not want to eat hay, as Doc has just dropped a bale of hay on his food
An
bowl.
entire bale
Doc
of hay.
knew from the jump. Doc was like setting up this bit the whole time. Just
Absolutely.
Like,
This'll get him.
Sometimes, in order to change someone's mind, you have to support them in getting to that place themselves.
Mm-hmm.
what's the opposite authority version of malicious compliance, where the authority absolutely does?
I mean, that still feels like malicious compliance.
Benevolent malicious compliance?
Yes, I guess this would have been benevolent compliance. He's like, well, a horse is a horse is a horse. Here's your bale of hay.
Oh, also, do not give your horse an entire bale of hay. They will gorge themselves to death.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
It's giving like a sort of opposite version of the Bruce Bugtrotter with the cake, the chocolate cake.
Oh.
You wanted to be a horse, now you gotta eat a whole thing of hay.
Man, your cultural references are the best.
It's great. Yeah, Beth, do you want to tell us about the international versions?
I would love to. There do not seem to be any notes on the international versions, unfortunately. The only other notes are that neither Moki nor Boober appear in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
And that in the Traveling Matt segment, we get to see him, playing like, video games of the era, most notably Space Invaders, which I did not catch.
Space Invaders, which was the predecessor to Galaga.
I think so. That was a bit before my time.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I recognize as a cultural touchstone, but it was, a bit too before me.
Alrighty, do we want to talk about how we can make the world a little fragglier or a little doozerier?
Well, first the simple: shed your clothes, be naked, be ant-like, show off your chitin, show off your carapace.
This is I am so happy because literally the first how to make the world fragglier I ever did was take off your clothes and hang out in the backgrounds.
That's right, it was.
Eat trash, be free.
Take your goblin on a walk, eat trash, be free.
Take your surfboard dog on a walk, but make sure you wax him first.
Oh yeah.
Oh, defy authority. Refuse to submit. Quit your job, walk away, and embrace silliness. And then come back and find a new job that lets you be who you are and values your unique skills. It can and must be done, I say the day after leaving my job.
I was gonna say, this one's a little personal, huh there, friend?
This was an extremely personal episode for me. This whole time I was like, man, I really, really, really hope that this major life choice is not me running off to join the Fraggles, but rather me being like, hey, here's how I'm gonna make my own world a little fragglier within the context of the society that I have to live in.
That's when you creating your own internal paramilitary organization. This is the best. We'll make Jedi out of you yet. It'll be fantastic. 76 Jedi is just like Rambo, counterinsurgency, and
Counterinsurgency? I hardly know her.
Adam or Julia?
If your friend has a dream that maybe isn't possible, but it's also not going to hurt them or anyone else, be supportive. I guess, be realistic, but also support them and show them some love and be a good friend.
Yeah.
They want to be a horse, Maybe don't let them eat hay. I don't know if we humans can process hay. Anyway.
I mean, if you don't process it, worst case scenario, it just comes out the other end unprocessed. It's not gonna kill you. Don't. This is not medical advice. Do not take this as medical advice. If you want to make the world a little doosier, put a water wheel in your fountain and make little contraptions. And there is beauty in little contraptions.
There's so much beauty in little contraptions.
You can get so much done with rubber bands and paper clips and bag clips.
Little contraption.
Alrighty. Y'all want to plug your pluggables?
Yeah, Wendell, oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Where can people find you if you wish to be found?
You can go to the edge of the forest, screech 3 caws, raven like a man will find. He will no. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wendell_Brit. You can find me at masteringallyship.com.
Heck
For whatever
yeah.
reason you decide that you get the wild notion that you want to be a better person, maybe make the world a little bit more fraggly, but via the art of gameplay.
Yeah, a personal plug for Mastering the Game of Allyship. Wendell does some amazing work around, like the other episode we were talking about the whole like internal family system things, like talking to the different parts of yourself. Wendell is a master at that and can help you be better at that.
Yeah, that stuff.
Yeah, you can find me at Beth Anna Cook on social media and occasionally writing stuff for Tough Pigs.
And you can find me at Geek Girl Grown Up on Instagram, juliagaskill.com if you like poetry, and also occasionally writing for Tough Pigs.
You can find me by following your nose. Follow the scent of wax and horseradish.
All right, that is it for this episode. Remember to check out toughpigs.com, give us a good review on your podcatcher of choice, and we will see you next time.
Don't forget to dance your cares away.
Dan at Fraggle Talk.
Stay new to your pets.
Thanks, Bob Barker.
Fraggle Talk Classic is brought to you by toughpigs.com. Fraggle Talk art by Dave Hulteen Jr. The Fraggle Rock mark and logo, characters, and elements are trademarks of the Jim Henson Company. All rights reserved. The Fraggle Rock theme song, written by Philip Balsam and Dennis Lee, is used with permission. Special thanks to the Jim Henson Company and the entire Fraggle Rock family. For more from Tough Pigs, please find us at Tough Pigs on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, TeePublic, and Patreon. Fraggle Talk Classic is produced and edited by me, Beth Cook. Thank you to Joe Hennis, the Tough Pigs Muppet Fan Podcast executive producer. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time, down at Fraggle Talk.
Yeah, he's like Christmas. He's got presents about him.
What?
That's a lot of this podcast. Just puns.
Oh no, did Wendell freeze?
Oh
no! Wendell freeze.
That wasn't this episode. Fraggle Freeze was the last episode.
Oh no.
But
Was my joke too good?
it was too good.
Did I break the Wendell's internet?